called The Beauty of Queen's Park, taken by Florence Lau, and it won the gold medal in the Group A competition.
Thank you, Liana. This photo was named The Beauty of the Queen's Park. Queen's Park is one of the magnificent icons in Toronto. Every year in the past decades, celebration on July 1st, Canada Day party is held with a 5-cent hot dog and drinks, which attract thousands of Torontonians arriving this place to have fun together. At night, Queen's Park is beautiful, quiet, and lighted up with many lights that we can see on the picture. One night, I bought a tripod and a camera, set them up in front of the Parliament building. As we know, in order to take good pictures at night, long exposure is required. The setting was set to 5 seconds, plus 100 of ISO and 13 of aperture, with multiple attempts to have a correct exposure and composition. At the end, this building was decided to take symmetrically. To add details, I keyed in some parts of the fireworks, which I took on 150 Canada Day in Ottawa to make the picture more interesting. For these steps, I used Photoshop to assist me for photo editing, which include combining the Parliament building and gathering pieces of fireworks, tuning down any lights which were overexposure, and remove disturbing components. It was so fun and I really enjoyed the process. Thank you.
Thank you, Florence. That's a great picture. Now let's move to the silver medal winning photo in the Group B competition, and it was taken by Jill Lam. We also have Jill here to tell us a little bit about her photo.
Thank you, Liana. This is my first time I photographed fireworks on the beach. I remember that year a lot of rain. It is too much rain that form a big puddle in the middle of the sand area, which I think it would be very appealing if the fireworks color reflected from it. Although fireworks would start after 10 p.m., I arrived there at 5 p.m. in order to get a good spot. I waited and chatted with other photographers for 5 hours. However, when we were waiting, people started coming and the crowds blocked the reflection I wanted. So I decided to put them in my frame instead. Since I didn't know how long the fireworks would last, I didn't limit my shutter speed. I mounted my camera to my tripod and used shutter release cable instead, shooting at aperture 8 with ISO 100, which I want to eliminate the noise. When I saw a little flame start from the right bottom corner, I pressed the shutter release cable until the flames disappear in the sky. Then I release it. I like shooting fireworks because you never know the results, yet this makes it so magical. Other than the technique I use, the weather on that day helped too. The breeze blew away the smoke of the fireworks, making this fireworks display more dramatic and outstanding. The fireworks was blown in a directional way from right to left. This adds more art elements to it. Plus, the people in the front create a fun ground interest and depth here. All of it make this image more vivid and attractive. Thank you.
Thank you, Jill. The next photo is also by Jill and it won the bronze medal. The name of the photo is Fireworks at CN Tower.
Thanks. This event was celebrate the 150th anniversary of Canada Day. Since I knew that the fireworks will shoot out from the top of the CN Tower and over the Lake Ontario, I searched for a location where I can take both fireworks. As usual, we arrived there a few hours before the fireworks start. We waited and waited until the time arrived. As I said, firework is unpredictable. Every time we have to use the first pic for our framing of the images. It will help the fireworks won't be out of frame. I secured a spot with my tripod. Since there was much city light, I used aperture 13 with ISO 100 to take the fireworks images. While I was taking pictures, I found out that both fireworks would not be released at the same time. So when the fireworks at the CN Tower side was finished, I quickly turned my camera facing the Lake Ontario, waiting for the second one. Although I can't capture both fireworks in the same image, I decided to stitch two images in Photoshop in order to keep the celebrating mood in one photo. Thanks.
Thank you, Jill. We see that you really like fireworks.
Yeah.
Now, the last photo of Jill is a honorable mention award winner and is entitled Downtown Nightscape.
Thank you. This is a picture that I took in a fireworks display in downtown Toronto. In order to find the best angle of it, I rented a room facing the City Hall in the hotel opposite the road. I was hoping to capture some nice photos that night. I checked in a bit earlier to prepare the setup. I used a double suction cup camera mount to attach my camera on the windowsill. Also, I used a lens skirt to cover my lens hood. This helped to block out internal environmental reflection while shooting. Due to plenty of the city light there, I used aperture 13 with ISO 100, shoot in 15 seconds with a 40mm lens. After finishing setup, it was already blue hour. Blue hour is simply the time of day before sunrise and after sunset, when the atmosphere has a deep dark blue color. Every photographer loves this moment. I start shooting the city building with this lighting. In cityscape photography, it can have a beautiful orange and blue color contrast that gives the image some punch. However, you need to time this pretty carefully. There is usually only a brief window when the sky and the city lights are about the same brightness, making for the most even exposure between them. Although I didn't get nice firework image that night, I do have this beautiful blue color blue hour photos instead. Thank you.
Thank you, Jill. So now let's move on to the last honorable mention photography for Group B. This last one is taken by myself and is called Cloud 9 at Night. This photo was taken at the Distillery District during the Light Festival. They had a large number of light installations, which are all very interesting. The cloud-shaped lights on top of the swings created a very romantic and dreamy feeling. I love the varying colors of the clouds as well. However, there were still quite a lot of people there, and I didn't want to have them in the photo. So I knew I have to use a longer shutter speed to make the moving people fade away. I used a shutter speed of 6 seconds, which can only be done with my camera on a tripod. I used the clouds and the street lights to form leading lights to make the composition more interesting. Because of the long exposure time, I had to use a low ISO of 100. I also used f12 aperture to achieve a deep depth of field so that everything was clear to the end of the building. I'm happy with the amount of light in the photo so that the details of the buildings, the stone street, and the lights are still clear. I love the resulting effect. So now we have a chance to take a look of the winning photos from our night scene competition. Let's summarize a few points on night scene photography. First of all, use a tripod. The shutter speed can be adjusted to achieve what you want, and is also used for controlling the amount of light to compensate for ISO. From an ISO perspective, try to keep it low. The aperture is used to determine the depth of field and the clarity. As you can see or hear from our presenters, Florence and Jill and the others, that night scene photography is not just a test of skills. It's also a test of patience, having to wait for a long time for the fireworks, testing, having to rent a hotel to get the best point of view. It is a great experience for photographers. So I urge you, be creative and have fun. Again, thank you for the members that have contributed their photos to this section of our presentation today. Now let's